Hello, we are live. Hello, how is it going, everyone? Just let me check my audio. Okay, so it seems to be working. If you can hear me, type loud and clear in the comments box so I know that you can hear this properly. Okay, right. Hi, hello, good evening, everyone. This is Eunice Tan coming live from Singapore. Right, so how is it going over there? And let us know, where are you watching this from? Are you watching this from in Singapore, or are you watching this from overseas? Right, my name is Eunice. I'm an entrepreneur, speaker, and trainer. Welcome to our Facebook page and YouTube channel on Daily People Skills. Let us know, where are you watching this from? Are you watching this from Singapore or overseas? Like I mentioned just now, if you're watching this from overseas, which country, what time zone? I should actually get used to saying good morning, good afternoon, right? So you can watch this in the record as well. So you can watch this in the replay. Right? How is it going over your side? Are you still at lockdown or not? Or you guys are back to normal? And are you working from home? If you're watching this from Singapore, are you watching this from home, having your dinner now, or already had your dinner? If you had your dinner, let us know what did you have, right, in this slightly cold weather tonight. Right. Once again, welcome to our weekly Facebook Live sessions where we share our experiences when dealing with people and the mistakes we made, and of course many of the tips and solutions we use in our daily lives. Right. Many people think that people skills is just about EQ, communication skills, leadership skills, but people skills go much, much beyond that. At the bottom line, it is about who you really, really are. Because before you can manage anyone, you must first manage yourself. It is also one skill that will never be replaced by technology and artificial intelligence. More about that later on. So for now, let's jump right into today's topic. I like to start my session on time. Now, today's topic is going to be very interesting, right? So Apple just launched their latest phone about a month ago, right? How many of you have got it? Isn't it exciting to get a new phone? 11 has just passed, right? So how many of you have bought new stuff then? Most likely you have received most of your items by now, right? Isn't it wonderful to receive your new victories? We always call it our trophies and all, right? And not to mention, Christmas is coming. More new presents to receive. And what about the New Year, right? New Year's Eve is always so happening. Counting down is always so exciting. And the fireworks, the poppers, the singing Auld Lang Syne is now popularly associated with out with the old, in with the new. A new beginning, a new hope. It's like you wipe the slate clean and you get a chance to start all over again, and you get to press the reset button. New is exciting. Or is it? Well, actually, not everyone embrace the new. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the old is not good. In fact, I like some of the old stuff. All I'm saying is that there's always something new happening every day, whether you like it or not. So you might as well learn to embrace it, learn to manage it before it manages you. We'll talk about why is it important for us to embrace the new and how to do it in a natural, stress-free manner. Right? Let's get started for today. Now, let's get started with when and why people like new stuff. So why do people like new? Right? When I talk about new, right, you notice I didn't put anything specific. It's anything new. It could be a new job, it could be a new shopping item, and it could be a new environment, it could be a new country, a new holiday destination, or whatever that is new in your life, a new person, even, right? New friends, right? So when do people like new? Right? We'll talk about when do they not like new. So we start with the like first, okay? Right? When they perceive new as something new or fresh, okay, in this case, right? And something exciting, something something better, right? So if they perceive the new as anything that is new, fresh, or exciting or better, right? People tend to be able to embrace news quite easily and readily as well. Yes, right? But what about the flip side? When is it that they don't like new? Let's take a look. Yeah, when they perceive new as new, okay, but this new, right, if you notice, new can be, it can go both way, right? So earlier on I said new and people like it, but in this case, this group of people, when they perceive new as something new, is something that is, I don't know what is it, I don't know who you are, and cause some kind of anxiety in them, right? Instead of causing excitement, it causes anxiety because they perceive it as something uncertain, right? When it's uncertain, the person is perceiving and thinking, I don't know what's the outcome of this new thing, right? And it's creating a lot of anxiety in me, right? And also, could be they perceive something as disrupt my habits or my routine. So when human beings are habitual creatures, right? So when you want to disrupt, yes, it's kind of like it just throw us off our track. We plan this, we plan that. So when this group of people, they don't like new when it's disruptive to their planning or their routine or their habit, right? So do you notice that it's effectively the flip side of perspective between these two groups of people, right? So what is new is fresh to the first group of people, right? And what is new is scary to the second group. Let me repeat that. So for the first group of people, they perceive new as exciting, as fresh, right? The second group perceive new as scary. It's still new, but it's two flip side, right? It's two different responses from two different group of people. So if the new is perceived as something like a breath of fresh air to the first group, we tend to embrace the new. If not, we will tend to be skeptical about it and may unconsciously put up a defense against it. So that's when, you become resistant to new, right? The first group of people may not necessarily know the outcomes, and this uncertainty is exciting to them. But the same uncertainty, right, it stirs up the fear of uncertainty to the second group of people. Right? Same thing, if we perceive something as exciting, we will embrace it. Just think of fireworks during a New Year Eve countdown. No one knows what is it going to be like. We don't even know whether is it going to be nice. Yet, year after year, many people will risk the heat, the cold, and the crowd just to watch the fireworks live, right? Now, when you introduce something new, it should also really be perceived as something better. Otherwise, you will have lost the battle even before you begin, right? Even then, it is only half the battle won. Now, simply because human beings are habitual creatures, generally we don't like to change overall, right? As a whole, we don't like to change, especially if we perceive the change as too much work. Oops, my poster just fell, right? This is when we won't change even if the new thing is better, right? And but if it's something better, it's a matter of take-up rate. So even if the initial take-up rate is slow, it's just a matter of time before it gains momentum. That is why when you want to introduce something new to your people, at work especially, whether it's a new practice, new policy, new software, new equipment, new people, new environment, and you can increase that perception scale towards something fresh, something exciting, and something better. And at the same time, decrease their perception skills away from uncertainty and disruption of habits. Then you're going to have a winner. You're going to introduce the new, you're going to introduce the changes with lesser resistance, right? Now, why is it so important to embrace the new? Why do we need to embrace the new in the first place? Simply because new is happening anyway, whether you like it or not. The world is constantly moving and changing, especially for the modern world. If everyone is moving forward, but you stay put as where you are, sooner or later, you will find yourself the only one who is being left behind. And sometimes the gap can be too much and it's overwhelming to catch up. That's why it's important to keep up every now and then. Now, I'm not advocating keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up the appearance or anything superficial like that. And no, it can be very tiring and overwhelming if you have to keep abreast of what's going on all the time. Right? I know because I've been there as well. It's really super tiring. You just cannot keep up with the technology and the news these days sometimes. Now, I'm not saying that either, okay? But so what am I saying? So what I'm saying is that keep an open mind. Just be aware of what's going on. For me, I'll just be aware of any terms or new things that keep appearing, whether it's in the social media or in the news broadcast. And I just find out enough for me to know at least the basics and to have a decent conversation with another person if the topic arises. Right? I don't expect myself to be an expert in every subject matter. Neither am I asking you to do that, unless it is part of your livelihood or your interest, right? So it's like I don't need to be an electrician to enjoy the electricity. I do need to know how to on the switch though, or how to use the apps to enjoy the electricity. You know, nowadays the electricity, the lights and everything, right? It's like smart system, everything go by apps. You can turn it on, you can set it on auto or whatsoever, right? So we will talk about the how-to in a minute. Sometimes it's the external environment that is affecting you. So for example, you may have read or visited some places where you have where it is less known, but after some time, more and more people heard about it, right? Let's see. So but after some time, more and more people heard about it, right? And tourism steps in. And for these places, even if the locals don't want to change, but once tourism steps in, things start to be different. And the locals will need to learn how to embrace the new situation, like the way we are facing now as well, right? And one point I want to highlight here is that this is what I mean that sometimes you may think that I no need to change because my environment does not require me to change. My industry is okay; it can last for the next 10 years, and my job is secure and my business is secure whatsoever. But just take note. Sometimes it's not about whether you want to change or not to change. It's the external environment that will kind of, for lack of better words, force you to change, because that impact is so great that you have to change, you have to embrace the new. Just like the pandemic and the situation that we have now, and for 6 months now, the government has been saying about adapting to the new norm, and and things like that. And I don't think we are going back to the old world in that sense, right? Even if there are certain things that can go back to the old ways, we have already get so used to the new ways, the current ways, that we have already start to enjoy the benefits of the new ways. I know a lot of people when they first start, right, they had to work from home. It was very uncomfortable. And what happens? But by now they are so used to it, and they are not actually looking forward going back to office now. Yes, and of course there are some vice versa. They just so miss human interactions. We'll talk about that a little bit more as well. But regardless, right, and especially for this situation, I seriously think that everybody, especially for those who are in Singapore, just take it that this is the new norm. So for us, in our business, in our line of work, we just take it that this is going to be permanent, right? Why? Why do I say that? Because the vaccine is not going to be so quickly, it's not going to be so quickly available in the next 1 or 2 years, right? What if it takes another 3 years to develop? I know there are news that it's going to be available soon and all those things, but seriously, for me personally, I'm a little bit, I want to play safe, because I think that vaccine is something that you need a little bit of time to test. So I wouldn't think that it will be available in a safe manner in the next 1 year, right? Because they need to test the side effect. It's not about just finding the vaccine, it's about what happens after that also. That's why vaccines always tend to take a bit longer time, right? And also, even if it really happens that, tomorrow we have the vaccine and all that, so it's a bonus. I take it that that's a bonus. All right, so just to sidetrack a little bit, actually it's not really sidetrack, because we are really facing a new situation, right? Now that we have covered when do people like and don't like the new, and also the importance of embracing the new, let's talk about how to embrace the new without stress. Okay, so that's the key word, without stress. A lot of time sometimes it's not people don't want to embrace the new, but it's because they find it a very stressful event in their lives even. So sometimes they find it very stressful to change a new thing because of the unknown. Remember we talked about uncertainty earlier on. Now, at the end of the day, just remember one underlying principle. I should do this. Okay, one underlying principle. Okay, right? So don't. I like to keep things simple. Some people say that my session are too simplified. Right? Are things really that simple? Yes, things are simple, but sometimes they may not be easy. But keep it simple. I mean, I know there are 101 things to look at, to cover, and all. But if you cannot do the simple, the one needful things, the one important things, then the rest you don't really need to do anymore. Do the major in the major, okay? Right. So the one underlying principle is to keep an open mind. And this is what I call by increasing your coachability quotient, CQ muscle, okay? So think of this, right? Coachability quotient is something that I just kind of call it up just for easy reference, right? So coachability, right? How easy are you? How coachable are you, right? And because this will in turn affect how much you embrace the new. Very often, those who can embrace the new easily and quickly, they are quite coachable in that sense. The coachability quotient is very, very high. And if you notice, right, I also put in the word muscle behind the word CQ, right? Because I want to emphasize that CQ is something that you can actually build up. You can actually, it's something learnable, it's something that can be nurtured, right? And is the reason why you feel stressed towards something new is partly because you are not used to it physically, mentally, and emotionally. So like muscles, like when you go to the gym, or you heard of people who go to the gym, of sports fanatics, gym fitness fanatics, right? So these people, they will want to go to gym. Think of someone who go to the gym regularly and lift weights and all. They can tell that they have better muscle. They can carry back more weights than you and me, right? Who don't go to the gym to practice this. But it's not that by nature, they can carry more weights than us. It's because they go to the gym and they start building up their muscles and they start carrying weights. And as time goes by, they can carry more and more weights. They also started with the lightest weight, right? So, and they build on the weights bit by bit, day by day, as time goes by. It takes time, and but it can be done, right? And if you look at some vocations, right, some occupations, some businesses, some positions, they tend to require people with high tolerance level of stress. For example, the C-suite level of think of a CEO of a listed company or MNC. They are responsible for thousands, if not 10,000s of people's livelihood. Think of doctors, think of emergency services, crisis management people, airport staff. These are people who are constantly on the job, right? They actually have quite high level of stress. Now, do they and a lot of people think that, by nature they can cope with stress, right? But actually, I beg to differ. I find that these people, what I notice is that sometimes they don't, for example, the C-suite level people, right? They don't rise to the rank immediately overnight like this. They rose through the rank, and with each promotion, the stress level goes up. And with that, right, their stress tolerance level is also being built up. It's like muscle again. The stress tolerance level goes up, so they can tolerate stress a bit more than others, right? Just gave my recipe away. Right, not yet. Right. So if you think about it, they don't have that high tolerance level of stress overnight. It's really bit by bit, level day by day, year after year, that kind of stuff, right? Doctors as well. Yes, since in medical school, even if before they become doctors, right? When you apply, you know that you have to have a certain level of stress already. So you need to really, as they work, and that level of the tolerance level of stress build up as well, right? And the same thing for the rest of it, and whatever it is. So you will tend to. So what I'm trying to say here is that they don't have this tolerance level of stress, just by nature, right? They train up bit by bit, day by day. So you can train out your CQ muscle the same way too. Right? I know some people want to, at this point of time, they might say that, oh, it's nature versus nurture. Because some people really, by nature, they have a high tolerance level of stress, right? And which in turn helps them to embrace the new easier in that sense. Yes, it's true. But you know the question on nurture and versus nurture, right? Nature versus nurture. Right, it has been a decades, and the psychologists have always been arguing about this, and they up till today for so many years they have not been able to come to a conclusive whether is it nurture or is it nature. Right, both has its parts to play. So what you can do is that at least you build yourself, you nurture yourself first, and you see how far you can go. I don't deny sometimes we do have a limit to how we can how far we can go, but at least do it first. If you don't go to the gym, how do you know you cannot carry weights? How do you know how much weight can you carry? If you don't start taking up a little bit more stress, healthy stress, okay? We have the videos talking about positive stress as well, just like calories, right? We have good ones, we cholesterol, we have good ones and bad ones and all that. So stress has good stress and bad stress as well, right? So a lot of people, what they do when it comes to stress is that, oh, it's very stressful, I don't want to do it anymore, and they back up. And in this way, they will never increase their tolerance of stress. They never build up their muscles, because every time they they come across something new, come across a stressful event, what they do is that they back off, right? They run away from the situation. So you are not going to build up your muscles. So how are we going to train up our CQ muscle? Right? 3 simple ways. First up, do something different every month. Right? If you want, you can do it even every week. Right? This is something what I have been doing since actually for a long time now. Right? It used to be do something different for every year, and I will do the whole 12 months, just do that thing in that sense. Right? That's why, so there was one year I did my Hair for Hope, and another year I did a marathon, another year I wanted to learn horse riding. No, I wasn't very good, but it's okay, so I did it anyway, right? No, and then in the last few years, I increased the frequency to something different every month. You see, because as I do it, right, after a while, it gets a little bit easier. It helps me to, new become a habit. New become a part of my life. New become is just a norm for me. So what I'm trying to tell you is that as you do this, right, whatever new it's going to be such a norm in your life that you won't even notice it's just new, right? It's just something that comes along the way. That's all, and you become it's such a norm. It becomes such a normalized thing for you, right? It's your new norm, right? So you do something different every month. So for example, try a different food, try a different place, a different route, a mode of transport. If you used to do online shopping, go and do offline. If you used to do offline, go and do online, right? So what I did was that for my online, I didn't really want to do it, but then I just had to give it a go, because I have to practice what I preach, right? So it wasn't that bad, right? It wasn't. I still prefer offline in that sense, but online, buying things online is not necessarily a bad thing either, because I can actually do it in the middle of the night when all the shops are closed, right? And it is really convenient and faster in that sense. And the only thing I don't like about online is that sometimes if you buy clothes, you can feel the texture, and texture is very important to me, right? So maybe even try a hairstyle, new hairstyle, right? I did my hair today, so it's something. My hairstylist did something different for me today, and you never know, right? I have cut my hair short, I have kept my hair long, I've put my hair different hair colors and all that. So you don't have to do something that is very outrageous, so as to speak, or start. You can just do something different that you would never really normally you won't do it, right? Every month just do something, right? Start with food and place. I think that's the easiest. Now, yeah, the mode of transport, the route is is really good. Try a different route to go to work, or when coming back from work from home, right? So you will find that you see different things. You see very different things, different environment, different scenery, different people, and you never know. You might actually just prefer the new route, right? Secondly, interact with wide range of people. Now, what do I mean by wide range of people? Is people who are in terms of different age, different occupation, different life stages, different nationality. Oh, I love that, right? And I think why a lot of people like to travel is because they meet different kind of people also, right? So when you meet different kind of you meet people from different nationality, you get a cultural exchange, you get to know how they do things in their country and all, and you really know that, hey, you know what, hey, this is what other people are doing. So it's not, so it could is so when you see somebody else do in our own country, which may not be a norm, it's okay, and you're so used to it, it's not a surprise thing anymore. And because you're, so one thing about the Singapore culture or Asian culture, right? Sometimes we are so set in our mindset, our thinking, our doing things that when somebody do a different things, we will like we'll get a shock and how could you do that and all. Before we even give a chance to analyze, hey, why you do that? What's the benefit of doing that? Testing out. So one thing when I was studying for my law degree in UK, when I spent 7 years there, I actually learned this very good principle is that you never know until you tried it. Okay, never criticize something you don't know. You just need to walk, you know what they say, right? Walk in the mile or in somebody else's shoes before you can criticize or comment on whatever they say, right? So you can know what's their situation and just try it. You never know. You might see, you definitely see a different perspective. You might just see another benefit. So for example, before I went over to UK, I always tell people, when you come to buying shoes, why can't they, the shops here in Singapore, we go by design, and then you see which design you like, and then you tell the shop assistants what size is your feet, right? Now, the problem I have with that is that sometimes I like the shoes, but they don't have my size or it's sold out, right? So, and then I have to walk away after spending my time trying and spending time at the shop, and the shop assistant go in to find, and then they don't have. So it's such a waste of my time. So I always think that why can't they arrange in sizes instead of the design? So when I tell people that, people was like, oh, that's such a weird idea. Nobody does that here, right? And it's true, nobody does that here, but does that make it wrong? No, it doesn't. So when I went to UK, guess what? That's exactly what the UK retailers are doing, and it's a norm over there. Because it does make sense, because you see shoes are not like clothes. If it fit, it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. You can't, it's not like clothes that you can alter or change or adjust, right? Shoes is, if it doesn't fit, you shouldn't be buying it at all, no matter how much you like it. Yes, so it solves a lot of problems, and I love it. I just simply love it because I think in a way it's a more efficient way of doing things to me. Okay, to me. So what I'm trying to say here is that you just interact with with a wide range of people. Don't just interact with the same group of people, because then you'll become a bit more narrow-minded before you know it, and you are always thinking this way. I know there are some group of people you enjoy more, right? There are some group of people you don't enjoy, right? And especially like negative mindset people. But sometimes I will also force myself to go and look at them, interact with them, because I will ask myself, why are they thinking this way? And then I want to find out what makes them think this way. Why is it that they are so negative? And I, along the way, I realized how blessed I am that I'm surrounded by positive people. I'm being brought up in a positive family background and all. It actually turned out my compassionate level as well, right? And after a while, I realized, hey, when you listen to them, actually they are not really that negative. Then there's still hope to we bring them to the positive side. And during the process, I actually learned a different ways of communication as well. So to me, interacting with wide range of people actually helped me a lot in terms of embracing the new. Remember, our whole point here is to get so used to new that new is just a norm in our life. We want to normalize new, okay? The term new, the concept of new, right? And third and final way is to listen more and observe more. So with that, is because when you interact with people, right, it's not just you talking, you also listen to them. Okay, hear what they want to hear. What are they saying? Why are they saying that? Okay, and then maybe even try the method first before you say, hey, it's not good. right? And maybe sometimes people don't like to talk, right? So maybe you just observe more. When you're having a coffee, waiting for someone, instead of just playing games on your phone, just look around with, don't keep burying your head in the phone, right? Just look up and maybe just observe how people are doing things, and you'll be surprised. Maybe you will just maybe you will find a different way of doing things. And the whole point also is to arouse your curiosity. So once you have curiosity, right? Okay, don't tell me curiosity kills the cat, okay? Right. So curiosity, everything has a positive and negative. So if you want to, so we want to steer towards the positive side. Now, curiosity is also something that have helped the humankind to improve our lifestyle, right? If not for people, if you think of all the inventions, if not for the curiosity of the inventors, I think a lot of us, we don't enjoy what we are enjoying now, right? Look around you, it's all because of curiosity. Now, so listen more, observe more, and see, and as you do more of this, right? You do something different every month. You interact with the wide range of people. You listen more and observe more. You will find that your CQ muscles get stronger and stronger. And when your CQ muscle gets stronger and stronger, it's very, very easy for you to embrace the new, right? And don't get and without the stress, because when something new just come, you'll be like, oh, maybe for a second or two, you just like, something new, you maybe get a shock a little bit, but it won't last long. It's just a fleeting moment, right? So this is what we mean that what I mean by we can embrace the new without stress by building up your CQ muscle. Yes, right. Here you go. So there you go. Some tips on embracing the new, whether you are the one who is facing something new or you are the one who is going to introduce something new to people around you. For example, your workplace, right? Where you need to introduce a new policy, you need to introduce a practice, right? Do you have any tips for handling the new? Or how do you introduce something new to the people around you? Let us know in the comments box, right? Or you can PM us, you can DM us if you are shy about it, right? And we can have an interaction, right? Right, so that's all I have for today. Do you have a burning question when it comes to people, whether it's dealing with others or yourself? Let us know in the comments box also, or you can drop us a private message. We will answer to the best that we can. And many people have asked me, why am I speaking and doing training on the topic on people skills? It's not exactly the easiest topic to talk about, really. Now, it's because people skills is a very practical and important skill set. I would say it's a life-saving skill set. I know many of you are concerned about being replaced by technology and artificial intelligence. I totally believe that people skills is one skill that will never be replaced by technology and AI. You can learn about coding or cybersecurity or whatever competent skills for your occupation, but these are technical skills that will get obsolete and you will have to keep improving yourself in this area. Yes, they are important. I'm not knocking them down. But behind every hardware, software, non-living thing, there's a human being. This is what keeps me going. Because I know behind every camera, there is one person watching, learning, needing this message. It doesn't matter what business or what industry are you in, you are always dealing with people. Furthermore, let's face it, we are all social animals, right? We crave for the company of other people. This pandemic has shown us more so than ever. So with all this safe distancing, not able to gather with your family and friends, it has shown us that even with the best technology, it cannot replace the company of each other. So you might as well start learning how to deal with people. And the first person to deal with is with yourself, right? So stay connected with us. We have our Facebook and our YouTube channel. So hit the like and share button, subscribe and follow us in this journey of improving yourself. We'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.